Hey, Garage Logic fans, I do a podcast on the Garage Logic Network that comes out every Wednesday and Friday now, twice a week. But here's an important caveat. There is zero logic available in my show, in the formal definition of logic. Of course, life is a yin and yang kind of thing. There's the logic side, and then there's the what the hell side, which needs to get its exercise. So come for the what the hell and stay for the you've got to be kidding me. Mishki, now Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1622, September 18th, 2025. 93 degrees was the record high on this day in 1891. I know you're putting on your little sun hat now and going outside fearing it's the end of the world, but in 1891, they hit 93 on this day, 32 degrees on this day in 1929. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
You know, our friend Doris Mold,
know her well,
animal wrangler, provides state fair animal. Yesterday I said we've had an ox on the show, and I was poo-pooed.
Ooh.
I was poo-pooed by the entire staff.
No. I didn't recall an ox being on the show.
Today's state fair animal.
Dear Joe, long ago and far away, we did feature a Highland ox on the show during the fair. We have not had an ox at the fair for many years. Nice to hear you wax poetic about the Highland cow and calf with the nice hair. It's always a pleasure to visit with you and the crew to instill a little farm logic with today's state fair animal. It's nice to hear you continue to discuss some of what we do in the off-season.
I'm happy that she listens after the fair.
Tell Kenny that I take umbrage at his remarks about my Hall of Fame medal. He said this in an earlier episode. I treasure that medal in my Hall of Fame membership. If Kenny wants to make anything of it, he can take it as a protest over the limited GL run at the fair. I have attached a photo from your limited run at the fair in 2019. Well, in 2019, did we have a limited run at the fair?
That was the same setup that we had this past year.
I believe we did.
And it's a picture of me hugging a cow, not a tree, she notes parenthetically. And she was, at that point, not wearing her medal, just her fair ID. Looking forward to 2026 and hopefully a few more days of GL at the fair. Only 300... Excuse me? Only 343 days, 8 hours, and 13 minutes away. All the best, Doris, the GL animal wrangler.
Here's today's state fair animal.
She runs a good moon booth.
So if I said we had an ox on the show, I believe that's corroboration from the expert who would know that we had an ox on the show.
All right.
I'm
good with that.
That she used the word umbrage.
Yeah.
One of my favorite words.
It's a good word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great word.
You know what? I'm not offended.
Okay.
I said that yesterday.
What?
We've had an ox on the show.
Well, then,
I'm not offended.
I sat back, turned off my mic, and crossed my arms like this and did not contribute.
Not participating today.
Yep.
Not wanted.
Mary Moriarty,
Oh, boy.
Jimmy Kimmel, Housing Stabilization Services. Take your pick.
What do they all have in common?
Yeah.
Should we do Jimmy Kimmel first?
Jimmy Kimmel first. You got to. That's the hottest topic.
I'm certainly familiar with who he is. I don't watch his show.
Neither does anybody else.
He's been fired, or suspended, I guess would be the term.
Indefinitely.
And we are nudged into a belief that this is all Trump's doing, or the FCC chairman Brendan Carr's doing. I don't know. For example, his show was taken off the air by two of the biggest television companies in the country,
Right.
Sinclair and I guess Disney, Newstar, and if he's not there, then his show's off the air. But then there's a wrinkle. Somebody wants a license, and the FCC has to approve the license. I think it's Newstar.
Nexstar.
Nexstar, excuse me.
They want to do a $6.5 million merger with, I believe, Disney.
$6.2 billion
$6.2 billion merger with Disney
to acquire Tegna.
Yeah. And to accomplish that, you would need FCC approval, which suggests that the FCC was not at all disappointed that you canned Jimmy Kimmel because the administration's remarks on Jimmy Kimmel were that they were foul and a lie about the murder of Charlie Kirk. And as I read the Jimmy Kimmel quote, it was a lie. The MAGA well, I could read you the exact quote, I guess. Are you all familiar with it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, though.
I can't find it. If somebody has it, that's fine with me.
Direct quote, the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Well, that's not the truth.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And Kimmel was called out on it. If the government, Kurt Vonnegut once said that he thought freedom of speech was so precious, he thought it was a dream. He thought he dreamed it. And we can't live in this country if Trump is going to tell us who can be on the air and who can't be. We just can't. That's as bad as shooting your enemies.
You can't, right.
The American experiment comes down to free speech. That's it. From free speech, all else flows. All other freedoms flow. And if this Trump is, and I'm not suggesting that Trump, did you guys think Trump specifically ordered that Kimmel get canned?
I don't think.
John?
Did you see the comments from the FCC chair before all this happened?
No.
Carr, his name is Carr.
Yes, Brendan Carr.
He said yesterday on Benny Johnson's show, are you familiar with Benny Johnson?
Yep. No, I'm not.
Benny is a very conservative, I would call him right-wing commentator. Mm-hmm. He had Carr on, and Carr said, basically in relation to that comment, that ABC should suspend Jimmy Kimmel. This is before anything happened, before he got suspended, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. This is the head of the FCC, whose ear I'm sure Donald Trump has,
right,
and vice versa.
Do you think he knew something before, John?
Pardon me?
Do you think he knew something prior to that, though, that was in the works?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
I just wondered. Yeah.
From USA Today, Trump is a frequent critic of Kimmel in the entire late-night host lineup. He took to Truth Social last night to deride Kimmel's ratings and throw shots at Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, and Jimmy Fallon. Let me stop right there. One of Trump's problems, and he has many, is that he's involved in everything. He'll tell you what's wrong with Dancing with the Stars. He'll tell the NFL what they should do.
Yes.
He's all over the map.
He's got his hand in everything, and he's thin-skinned.
Great news for America, he tweeted. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done, Trump wrote. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers, on fake news NBC. I laugh because I just on fake news NBC, their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. Do it, President DJT. Okay. Then during a September 18th press conference, well, presumably from London, right? That's where he is.
Yep.
Trump said the comedian should have been fired a long time ago for lack of talent. Well, let's stop right there. I don't trust the president of the United States to determine who has talent or not. I trust the marketplace to determine that. Let the market speak.
And I will say that Stephen Colbert, his show averaged 2.4 million viewers across the 41st run episodes, outpacing Jimmy Kimmel at 177.
Okay, but these are unimportant. Trump.
No, it is, actually.
Well, it is if you're going to err on the side that these were business decisions.
Hi. I've had my hand raised for about
you
2
in the
minutes.
back.
I don't deny that Trump could have gotten in the ear of the chairman of the FCC. However, if ABC makes a business decision, just like CBS made a business decision, they are not replacing Stephen Colbert. And I would bet a month's salary ABC is not going to replace Jimmy Kimmel. No one watches late night television anymore. This might have just been the right avenue for these entities, meaning ABC and CBS, to make a business decision. Jimmy Kimmel was making $16 million annually.
There's a fly in your ointment.
Talk to me, Goose.
A business decision is a business decision. A business decision made with the weight of the FCC approving a merger you're desiring is a completely different thing.
Okay.
And this would make two decisions based on a business deal, both by CBS with Colbert and now ABC with Nexstar.
Well, let's go back to this London press conference. During a press conference yesterday, Trump said that the comedian should have been fired a long time ago for lack of talent and pushed back at concerns about the state of free speech in the U.S. Kimmel has not been officially fired, although it remains unclear if and when his show will return to the air. Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. Trump told reporters, Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. You can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent. Okay. The president's tirade follows a decision by ABC, Kimmel's home network, to pull the show indefinitely following comments he made in the wake of Kirk's murder. Walt Disney-owned ABC said on Wednesday, 2 days ago, yesterday, that it will indefinitely stop airing Jimmy Kimmel Live after the late night host comments about Kirk's assassination came under harsh criticism from the head of the Federal Communications Commission. Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely, a spokesman for the network said. USA Today reached out to Kimmel's representatives for comment. According to Reuters, Kimmel was seen last night leaving the El Capitan Theater where the show is taped, but did not respond to a request for comment. And let me turn the page here, which is always somewhat difficult for me. During his Monday, September 15th episode, Kimmel said the following: "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. Everything we know tells us that this fruitcake in Utah was not a MAGA person."
Right.
So I don't know what was on Kimmel's mind there.
I can help you there.
Yeah.
He said that before. That was before the
It was
Tyler
determined, yeah.
Robinson's political leadings were officially determined.
Okay.
So he was just speculating when he said that. It sounds like I'm defending Kimmel. I really hate Kimmel.
But the other
wasn't waiting the 72 hours.
aspect of this, though, is that Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, these guys have a team of writers all day that write every single thing that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, and Kimmel had every right in the world to not read with that part that was written for him. But if this was Monday, he's still believing it's a MAGA deal.
You guys are leaving something very important out. Nexstar has 32 ABC affiliates. Sinclair, at my count, which could be wrong, has 29. So those are, if you do the math, what's that, 50, 60?
50 plus.
61.
Affiliates around the country, ABC television stations, where viewers call their station and say, we're done. A high amount of viewers. Those stations then call Nexstar and or Sinclair and say the same thing. Those two organizations panic and go, We are losing viewers by the millions right now because of what Kimmel said. They turn around, they call ABC, they call Disney, they do all this. And Disney then and ABC, they look at the numbers, they start thinking about how are we going to survive this? How are we going to get these viewers back? And they do what they did. So that's kind of the business aspect from it. But what's really frightening, it's a big we don't know that, is everything you talked about with the FCC chairman. We don't know what happened in the background behind the curtains.
No.
Did he? That's the big what if, Joe.
On a normal day, who gives a bleep if Jimmy Kimmel gets fired?
God, you finally said it. I thought that.
I really don't
predicted
care.
That was going to be the first thing out of your mouth.
I don't care. And if Fallon
waited.
gets fired, I don't care.
Right.
I don't admire any of you.
But
I'm not done.
Okay.
And then the other observation I have is, why in God's name would you even be paid $16 million a year when you virtually admitted you're trying to do a show for only half the country?
That's right.
That's beyond my business comprehension. Now, the other thing I would note is, again, I don't give a bleep about Jimmy Kimmel getting fired. However, I give a bleep if Jimmy Kimmel got fired because the FCC was forcing his firing because of what the administration was doing.
Agreed.
That bothers me. So in this case, I perfectly understand how it's a business decision, but it's been muddied by the possibility of it being a business decision coerced by the FCC's Brendan Carr, who sits in a position to approve a merger that these big players want. And unless you still got Kimmel on the air and you want that merger, right. Boom, Kimmel's fired. The waters are muddied.
Yeah. And by the way, the FCC addresses this. And from what I can tell, they broke their own rule. I mean, there's a long paragraph. I sent it to you. I don't know if you have it in front of you. I can read some of it.
I don't have it in front of me.
Criticism, ridicule. Say that for me.
Ridicule?
Thank you. Ridicule. Humor concerning individuals, groups, and institutions. The First Amendment guarantee of freedom of speech protects programming that stereotypes or may otherwise offend people with regard to their religion, race, national background, gender, or other characteristics. It protects it, Joe. Mm-hmm. It also protects broadcasters that criticize or make fun of established customs, institutions, including the government and its official.
Isn't that why we have the fairness doctrine?
Mm-hmm. So if in fact...
There is no fairness doctrine anymore. The Reagan administration got rid of it.
Okay,
right.
So that we don't have that anymore. But we did at one point.
That's been gone for 40 years.
Okay.
We're wildly speculating that the FCC might have been involved because he broke some sort of FCC rule. He did not. So they don't have a leg to stand on. God, I hate saying that because I hate Kimmel so much.
Your point, Kenny, is the FCC pointing a finger really had no power.
No, so then you go even deeper into the conspiracy with what Joe was talking about with these mergers.
But let's say that ABC had one or two or perhaps three massive advertisers, right? And then they heard this and said, we all get that. All five of us know.
Boom.
That's the rule right there.
Yep.
If all of a sudden ABC company said, this clown's got to go.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
millions
pick anybody, Chevrolet or any of these national, worldwide advertisers.
There's your answer.
Advertisers are trying to sell products to all the country. And you have hosts of these late-night TV shows are only trying to appeal to only half the country.
And now two
it
of them
doesn't
lost
make
their
sense
job.
to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
but
yeah.
I am sick and tired of everything being screwed up because Trump has to stick his nose into everything.
Agreed.
Why don't you just shut the hell up? Let Prince Charles or whatever the hell his name is pat you on the back.
Joe.
He's a king now, and then just shut up.
Are you speculating, or are you 100% positive that he stuck his nose into it before this happened?
I have no idea. But
does-
he sticks his nose into everything 24 hours a day.
But did he stick his nose into it after it happened, and he's just chiming in, like you said? It could be Dancing with the Stars. It could be,
that's there. Yeah,
could be anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows everything. He'll tell you how bull riding should be done. I mean, he just knows everything.
Well, we
especially if
brought
you're a
this up
critic.
during his first administration. He doesn't act presidential in the least.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what he does. I mean,
Wait, what if
that's,
you're
it's
Sorry.
Trump being Trump, Joe.
make late night TV great again?
On a red hat.
Okay, so can we bring this around and make it all about you?
I just had a
Joe?
brilliant thought.
If you don't say
We
so.
have often said, pointing out the various follies in America, that's why Trump got elected. All right. You know what he's done? He overcorrects all the time. There, I was looking for that.
That's
he's
a perfect
always
word.
overcorrecting.
And that is why Trump got elected.
We don't need Trump in the FCC
To chime in.
short of yelling fire in a crowded theater. We don't need them worried about who ABC fires or doesn't fire. There's rules, and if Kimmel is adhering to them, that's not your business, Trump. It's just leave it alone. You're always overcorrecting. And so he's jumping on this bandwagon now, this great echo chamber of social media, and he's just chiming in with all the rest of them saying,
Quotes from him in the last day after all this happened, talking about politics.
No, Chris, no.
And he just said,
I want it fresh.
he just
I'm sorry
said
to interrupt, John. Go ahead.
He said the same thing about Billy Graham and politics. He said, I'd like to go after him, but I really can't alienate half the people that listen.
Johnny Carson was doing a show for the whole country.
One more thing, Joe. And I've seen this. This is the reoccurring theme on every single tweet, from people that have 50 followers to people that have 50 million. They all go to the First Amendment argument. How does the First Amendment play into this firing? I'll answer for you if you don't know.
Coming
Well,
up
go
after
ahead.
the break.
It doesn't at all. So shut up with your First Amendment nonsense.
Put everything else down and call Precision
Speaking
Door.
of advertisers,
Yeah, get it in.
Because no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat,
Let's go.
you need a garage.
What about independence?
You could need a door. Why? Who is that?
I don't know. Willie Griffin? I don't know.
It's new doors for model. Precision Door can get you a new garage door. Do it before winter if you're smart. They got models for every budget. They send out a designer. That consultation is free. If you don't need a new door, but yours is acting up and maybe making disturbing racket,
Yeah.
they have a deal now called the Noisy Door Tune-Up Special for $149. That's a $290 value. You get a 25-point safety inspection, diagnostic, full garage door tune-up, and rollers replaced with ultra-quiet rollers. You got to get ready for the cooler weather now while it's still comfortable for you and for the guy to work on the door and the whole deal. And maintenance in a garage door is well worth it. You don't want that baby to conk out on you in the dead of January. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or schedule a Noisy Door tune-up special.
Power up fall projects with Ego at Lowe's. Every tool delivers power beyond belief. So whether it's leaves, limbs, or lawn cleanup, count on Ego to deliver the power, performance, and innovation you need. And now for a limited time, save up to $60 on select blowers, chainsaws, and pole saws. Shop Ego today at Lowe's. Offers valid through 10/1 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser. He's doing something.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Yeah, Lakeshore owners, you think it might be over. It ain't over. You have one final mission before you pull that dock for the season. Right now is the perfect time to take care of those lake weeds with shallow roots. Get those pulled out now. That way the weeds won't die. They won't turn into muck, further making a mess of things next summer. Let's start planning for next summer. Get ahead of the battle. It's the most cost-effective way for you to maintain a wonderful lake. And you do that, of course, with the tea weeder. It's made from very sturdy aluminum that you toss out from the shore or the dock, let it sink, and then tug it in with the attached cord. It's got offset teeth, and they really pull up all those lake weeds that make swimming yucky. It's very easy. It's actually fun for the whole family. If you're a crafty adult, you get the kids involved, turn it into a contest. They do all the work. It's made and sold by a GLer, Tim. He came up with this tool to take care of his own lake weed problems. I don't know if I've described it properly. It's a double row of big, scary offset teeth. They look like the teeth from Jaws, the movie. They're offset. It's a big rake. It has a long handle with an attached cord, and the results are absolutely amazing. Be sure to read all the reviews when you go to the website. So here's what you're going to do this fall. You've got some time. Number one, go to teaweedertool.com. Order a tea weeder. Number two, get those weeds pulled. And then, of course, number three, pull in the dock and light up a cigar. It's over. teaweedertool.com.
To my black brothers and sisters, Mary Moriarty is not doing you any favors. She's another leftist crackpot who disrespects you and thinks you less than. She's not running again, but she'll be the Hennepin County attorney until a year from now. And her latest is that her office will no longer prosecute most felony cases arising from low-level traffic stops, arguing that law enforcement in the state's most populous county has long disproportionately targeted minorities for violations like broken taillights or improper turns. So Mary might as well be saying, you people don't know how to drive. You can't even fix a taillight, and we should help you with that because you're not responsible enough or competent enough to take care of it. So therefore, when we stop you, we're not going to stop you, which is utter BS. It's the latest of several changes Moriarty has pushed forward, including a policy, I don't even know what this means, to consider the racial identity of defendants in key prosecutorial decision points.
Huh? I don't know what that means either.
The moves have inflamed her critics, who say she's too focused on racial injustices rather than stopping crime. She doesn't think you're capable of responsibility, my black brothers and sisters. But she treats you like dirt.
She wants to excuse you for not changing a brake light.
She is treating you like dirt.
This isn't just about prosecuting or charging somebody or fining somebody for a broken taillight. In this practice, if you get pulled over for one of those minor infractions and then it's discovered that
the entire back seat is stacked with fentanyl.
Yeah,
You're
or
off the
guns,
hook.
or anything.
You're off the hook.
You walk.
What happens
That's
if it's
the
a white
problem.
motorist pulled over for a cracked tail light? Do they walk?
Get a warning.
Well, I'd be embarrassed. I make sure all
My tail
equipment's
lights work, and every responsible black driver makes sure their tail lights work.
What if you are stopped because you've got a hole in the gas tank and only can fill up halfway?
I would put him in jail for that.
You tried.
Joe, like I learned at a very young age, if you want to pull shenanigans behind the wheel,
Better have everything working properly.
Yeah, even the license plate light has to be working.
That's part of her. That's part of her admonition. You can't pull anybody over for a license plate frame that is obscuring anything.
Well, remember, that's
You can't pull anybody over for turning from the wrong lane. You can't turn anybody over because one light is out or a headlight's broken. In the event you do pull them over and you discover the loaded shotgun in the front seat of the car, here's a question I have. Do the cops at that point have a right to find out if there's a warrant for your arrest? They sure as hell better, because all that guy with the loaded shotgun is doing is putting the public at risk. Mary doesn't care. She is a disturbed woman. She is her thinking has been so corrupted over the years that she's lost all sight of holding all human beings equal and responsible.
Did you see who was standing next to her at the press conference?
Omar Fateh?
Ramsey County Attorney John Choi.
Yeah, John, how you doing?
Johnny.
They've had that for a while, right? 3 years, 4 years.
Hey, excuse me, Holmes? Aha. What it is, bro?
Choi instituted a nearly identical policy change for Ramsey in 2021, said it was the most criticized decision of his career. Every police department in Hennepin County is PO'd at Mary right
Of course
now.
they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let us do.
Mary, why
our
don't you
job.
just say, you black people are really slobs. You can't do anything. And you're just taking up too much of our time. We're not going to even prosecute you.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want. You're not worth our time. That's what she's saying.
It's kind of along the same lines of what Minneapolis has done with smoking flavored cigars.
Yeah. And you know what, Mary? If more black drivers make illegal left turns, that's just a fact of life. Cops aren't saying, I hope a black guy makes an improper left turn here so I can stop him.
Right.
God,
Well, it's clear the air.
these people are screwed up.
You don't actually give a rip if somebody gets charged or not for, I don't know, not using a blinker or
I
having
don't.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, okay, so as long as we're clear on that.
I don't.
Yeah.
But see, now we've raised more questions than we have answers for. If the cops are following some motorist who happens to be black and they don't use their blinker, well, A, I doubt if the cop's going to stop them anyway.
Right.
What the hell? And B, if they do, what does the cop get to do if there's a loaded gun in the front seat? Does he get to take action?
That's a really
I
neat
would
gun
hope
with
so.
the serial number scratched off.
Yeah.
See ya.
Drive safe.
Yeah.
Mary, where'd you go wrong? I don't know. I just, it's amazing to me. I have the statement from the police. I have the statement from the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association on Mary's decision to abandon traffic stop prosecutions. This is from General Counsel Imran Ali. The city of Minneapolis is under siege with violent crime, and this is what County Attorney Moriarty chooses to prioritize. Her new policy is a gift to criminals, a slap in the face to law-abiding Minnesotans. Guns, drugs, and fugitives discovered during traffic stops will now walk free while officers are left powerless to act. This reckless decision doesn't just weaken law enforcement, it puts every family in greater danger. Well, here's how I think it must work. If next Tuesday the cops stop somebody for a busted taillight, and they discover the loaded weapon in the car and then further discover that that's a felon who shouldn't be in possession of a firearm, there will probably be an arrest. But the way I'm now understanding it is that's as far as it'll go, and that person won't be prosecuted because his prosecution would stem from the result of a traffic stop that Mary has now outlawed.
That once they realize it, they'll just release. Forget that.
Yeah.
Slap on the hand, not if even.
That I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, staff. Imran Ali, anybody. I think that's what it must mean.
That's where my mind's at.
If I stop you and you happen to be a black male, and the back seat of your car is full of uncut fentanyl, all wrapped up neatly in plastic bags, and just taking up the whole back seat, I'm going to arrest you. But then when it gets to Mary, we're not prosecuting that because they were stopped unfairly for a broken taillight. Well, go bleep yourself, Mary. You're out of your mind.
She did say, now this doesn't really tell us much. Moriarty said her office will weigh public safety when granting exceptions, giving a scenario of police recovering a gun connected to a homicide during a search.
I don't believe Mary.
So it sounds like
I don't believe anything she says.
Her
like a
track
flip a coin
record suggests otherwise.
She's not to be trusted.
But let's hope that the officer pulls him over, sees the fentanyl, arrests the driver, takes the fentanyl, and at least gets it off the street. Even if that guy isn't prosecuted, at least the fentanyl or the untraceable firearm or whatever it may be is taken off the street, right?
Well, Mary might order a return to the guy. I have no idea.
You know, that's so absurd, Joe. It could actually happen.
Let's put it this way.
What do you got?
That ain't the way you have law enforcement in GL. That's the way you have law enforcement in the mystery towns. Liberal Lakes, Euphoria, Diversityville. That's your law enforcement. The law enforcement doesn't like it, but that's the game they have to play. In GL, we don't have that.
You know what law enforcement really doesn't like is my idea for a community college course. I could teach you how to be a better criminal.
Kenny, we're not advocating. We have the Gumption County Institute for the Criminally Incompetent.
All you got to do is walk around the car, make sure all the lights are on, put on the emergency flashers,
you know what?
Get that stuff off the mirror, check the tinting of your window.
Kenny, now that Governor Walz has declared a run for a third term, I could see this becoming a government program.
I could get a job with the state.
Probably.
That's so absurd it could happen.
The Department of Kenny.
Nefarious services.
In the bowels of the Capitol.
Okay, we've determined that's not how we would run law enforcement. That's the way Hennepin County will run it. Now we have to turn to House Stabilization Services under the Department of Human Services.
Boy, you got that kind of time?
I don't have that kind of time. I'm going to tell you about EcoFun.
Talk to me.
Well, the electric bike capital of the world has a great stock of electric bikes at at both locations. Forest Lake on Highway 97, just west of 35, and down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. These are the most fun recreational stores you'll ever enter. Not only the electric bike capital of the world, but gas-powered scooters and great brands of motorcycles and youth recreational equipment. Helmets, apparel, service, and I suppose the winter equipment's arriving any day now. But hell, there's 2 months left of riding that electric bike on the many, many bike paths we've carved up the streets for, and trails, and it's really, really fun stuff. It's EcoFun in Forest Lake / Columbus. It's on 97, just a couple blocks west of 35. Go through a few roundabouts. There you are. Great big fantasy land. It's wonderful. And down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. And as I've mentioned before, a really dangerous website. Because you look at the website and next thing you know, you're tearing up 35. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
All right. Here's the deal. I was scolded yesterday. You're probably asking yourself why. Or maybe saying Reavers is talking. I'm not paying any attention whatsoever.
Why, Chris?
Well, you guys, I started Awaken 180 weight loss, and I am down, 7 pounds. So I checked in with Emma yesterday, who's my personalized coach, and she said, hey, how have your eating habits been this week? This is on the heels of going to the Twins game and being in the suite with Mr. Money Talk. And I said, well, I did have a hot dog and a slider at the Twins game. She went, Reavers.
Why do you?
Anyway, but that's okay. She said, I would have suggested just have the protein, don't eat the bun, things like that, right? And you know what? She said, you might see a tiny bit of a setback. However, stick to the program. And she was right. But you know what? I'm at the ball game. I'm going to have a hot dog. But that's the thing with Awaken 180 Weight Loss is they're going to give you one-on-one weekly coaching. Like I mentioned before, you can still go on vacation. You can still go out. You can still tailgate. You can even still have a couple of drinks. But the one-on-one coaching, Joe, is going to give you restaurant menu items and suggestions.
Why are you talking to me?
Well, because maybe you're looking at me.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But it's a clear daily plan. There's no complicated tracking or counting. It's one-on-one weekly coaching, like I mentioned. And it's a program that's built for everybody. You're not taking supplements. You don't even really have to work out, but you can if you'd like. There's also no fasting. And that's a solution that's worked for over 800,000 people. So check them out online today. It's awaken180weightloss.com. That's 180. Awaken180weightloss.com, or give them a call directly for that consultation at 844-346-1800, or again, awaken180weightloss.com. Please mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Before John starts, can I just say one more thing about Mary? Mary says she will no longer prosecute most felony cases arising from these low-level traffic stops. Well, what felony case would she not prosecute? Because I'm making the presumption that virtually all felony cases places someone in danger, whether it's the wife at home or 100 people. That's all I had to say. Here's John Heidt.
Thanks, Joe. This update brought to you by North American Banking Company. Chris, can I go back to your ad for a minute?
Sure.
Did your coach, Emma, say it's okay, you can still sit down and eat like 8 ears of corn in one setting?
No, we did discuss that. She said vegetables is key, but she heard me say that on the show and said, that is not advisable.
Just don't put any butter on it.
No, actually, you know what? Here's the key.
Well, you have to.
Healthy fats like butter and olive oil are very, very highly encouraged.
Yes.
Wonderful. I wouldn't eat butter with your mouth.
No butter.
Hey, now.
Get the butter.
I think we all would agree with you there, Joe.
You don't like olive oil, Joey?
I don't know. John, continue.
I use olive oil.
What about butter as it was featured in Last Tango in Paris?
No.
Get the butter.
John Heidt in the newsroom.
Why, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Again, I'll tell you again. I know I did once, but news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Federal charges announced this morning against 8 men in that investigation into Medicaid fraud carried out by housing stabilization services providers. HSS was established back in 2020 as a means of connecting vulnerable adults with housing. The state estimated its annual operating cost to be about $2.6 million, but 5 years later, providers are billing the program about $100 million per year. Acting U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson made the announcement this morning at a press conference. He said these 8 are just the first that will be charged. More charges will be forthcoming. Thompson says the whole scheme is massive and riddled with fraud, but he wouldn't give a number of how many charges they expect to file in the long run.
And I contend this has to go above your street-level Somali fraudster. Yes, you in the back.
So, John...
you have the names?
Correct. Oh, I do.
I'd like to hear the names of the people arrested.
And then I have a question when I'm done with that. We've got Mokhtar Has Adin.
Okay.
We've got Mustafa Dayab Ali.
I see.
We have Khalid Ahmed Daib.
I don't know him.
I think they're both related. We've got Abdulfatah Mohammed.
Okay.
That's 2 different Mohammeds.
I love when there's 2 names.
I do too.
Christopher Adasi Falade.
Mm-hmm.
We have Emmanuel. Oh, boy. Alawada Malada.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I know him.
Every day.
He's just down the street.
Yeah.
We've got Assad.
You know why they get away with fraud? Because nobody wants to bother trying to write down their name when they apply for something.
Assad Ahmad Adaw and Anwar Ahmad Adaw. Here's why I want to point that out. 1, 2. So there's 2 Adaw brothers, I'm assuming.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, they're both have the same
Muhammad.
Right,
last
that right.
names, and they're around the same age. We've got Christopher Falade, 62, and Emmanuel Falade, 32, maybe a father and son business.
Yeah,
and then we've got
definitely were.
Daib, a 29-year-old, and a 26-year-old. So those are probably 2 brothers connected to this as well. Here's my question. Omar Fateh was connected to this program.
Health and this is housing stabilization services.
Not to be confused with his wife being connected to food fraud years ago.
I don't know how Omar Fateh was in this.
Well, there was a huge Care 11 story about this.
All right. But here, when I say this goes above street level,
Yes, sir.
criminals like these guys, the day before, the Department of Human Services was to get grilled by the Fraud Prevention Committee in the Minnesota House yesterday. The day before that, the assistant commissioner who oversaw the agency's housing services was fired.
See ya.
Eric Grumdahl.
Correct.
Well, who fired him, and what were they fearful of him saying?
Too much.
Come on, you people. They really are taking us for fools, aren't
What do
they?
you take me for, a fool?
I have the Care 11 story right here, and I have the quote. Omar Fateh's wife's company, let me get the name of it, the Housing Stabilization Program, already exposed for widespread fraud, now reveals an unexpected connection to candidate and state senator Omar Fateh. Care 11 did discover something raising what a legal expert labels serious ethical concerns, as Johnny mentioned in the news story. So not only was his wife connected to this program, she was also connected to the food fraud program, which I believe was a different shell company.
All right. Now back to what I was saying.
Talk to me.
The day before, Health and Human Services is going to get grilled by a fraud committee in the legislature. Conveniently enough, the assistant director in charge of housing stabilization services was fired and therefore did not appear yesterday to get questioned.
How did they get away with that?
So you tell me, who wanted this guy fired because they feared something he would say? And now I'll say one more thing. I know I'm taking John's time, and I apologize. The nexus for all fraud in this country has proven to be COVID. It was almost as though as COVID played out, governors and legislators started to talk to each other around the country and said, we got a great opportunity here for fraud. We got a great opportunity to really screw things up. And off we went, because they're even blaming the Housing Stabilization Services fraud on 2020 COVID. And they're all hiding behind some slapped-together federal rules that said, you must dispense money quickly. We're in a crisis. We're overcome by a pandemic. Get this money out the door as fast as possible to everyone you can find. And these saps are only too happy to do it without any guardrails, with no provisions, no vetting of anybody. And then they always got themselves covered. They always have covered their own behavior.
They make up their own rules.
But something's going wrong with their plan, because you fired a big shot yesterday, 2 days ago, before he could come in and say anything. Back to John.
Okay, before we go back to me, if I may add, Joe, to this is part of what you were talking about. Mr. Thompson was asked, and they didn't have a microphone on all the reporters, but the question sounded like something along the lines of, does this, are there people involved in this in a deeper kind of situation, et cetera, et cetera? And he answered, if I were writing this story, I took this note down immediately, this would be, in the first 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
He said, well, it's not something I can talk about right now, but we are definitely looking at some other people involved in the situation that aren't just the people who are embezzling money.
It has to be.
So
it's too prevalent, too widespread, too much money at stake. There are people, including this maniac, thinking he's going to have a third term for governor.
I've been to every corner of Minnesota.
Take this guy off the air.
I was waiting for you to go there.
But, Joe, why doesn't the panel say, where is Rick M. that you fired yesterday?
I can answer that. He's fired and therefore has no obligation to be here. He no longer is employed by us.
But if he's being federally indicted, he has to speak.
This isn't federally indicted. This was his appearance before a committee of the legislature.
I'm aware of that. I'm saying at some point if he is.
Well, I hope so. At some point, if he is, then he'll have to talk. But he had no obligation to appear before a legislative subcommittee.
Did I just get yelled at?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd be on my way to, I don't know, somewhere else. $8.4 million is what those defendants got, Joe.
Yeah.
And to drive your point home about COVID establishing this whole thing was established, the HSS, in 2020. You're going to love these numbers. The state estimated its annual operating costs to be around $2.6 million, but hold on to your hats. 5 years later, providers are billing the program upwards of $100 million per year.
Do you guys listen to the show? Because that was in my story.
Right, yeah. I did.
I remember that. I do remember that.
Just so
and you know, the official, Shireen Gandhi, the acting official, they show no more regret or embarrassment for this than they might for forgetting to bring the relish to a picnic. It just sails right through.
They also asked Thompson if any, since these people obviously are from East African origin, if any had skipped the country. And he said, no, as far as we know, they're all still here. In fact, one of them we got a hold of in Maine yesterday, and he's flying back.
He's probably leaf peeping.
He's on the rowboat.
He's ready to go across the Atlantic in a canoe.
Yes.
Doesn't anybody, have you ever heard of Steve Miller? Take the money and run. Dumbbells.
They just are, they're nonplussed by this.
Nonplussed, good word.
Yeah.
All right, now, back to me.
Back to news.
Oh, it's all about you, Johnny.
That's right. This week, St. Francis, the city just to my north here, proposed raising water and sewer bills 33% over the next 2 years. St. Francis Public Works Director Paul Carpenter says the potential large hike is partly due to an unexpected rise in equipment prices at the water plant. The St. Francis City Council will vote on the budget in December. City officials say if the budget isn't approved, they would turn to bonds and state grants to help cover costs at the water plant.
I talked to Paul Carpenter today. I called him because the numbers were so extraordinary. My curiosity was getting the best of me. Mm-hmm. They went from a $60,000 estimate to fix the water to $800,000.
Yeah.
And this Paul Carpenter was hail fellow, well met. He didn't give me any BS. He was born and raised in St. Francis. He's the public works director. He said the $60,000 was years and years old estimate, and things have changed. Technology, hardware, and everything else. I bought everything he said. I don't think he was steering me wrong. He's trying to be forthcoming about this. He's as surprised as anybody that he had to report that number. But that, I think it's all on the up and up.
It's part of what's just happening in America in the last 5 years. I mean, everything is absurd now compared to 5 years ago.
Ground beef is $1 more a pound than it was last year.
I buy my ground beef when it's still alive, so.
Has anybody noticed a difference?
Well, I'm told that I've noticed a difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean the taste. I'm just meaning the price of it.
Matthew, in my case, the processing has gone up. I wasn't kidding. I buy a quarter, and the processing has gone from $400 up to $600-700.
Well, as hard as it is to believe, it's plausible that it went from a $60,000 repair to, in the intervening years, have other things that go wrong that are suddenly now worth $800,000. It's a municipal water system. I'm sure it's complicated. It's crazy. But I don't think this guy's steering me wrong.
Yeah. And it's now official. Bob Dylan is joining the lineup for Farm Aid 2025 being held in the Twin Cities this Saturday. You'll remember it was remarked by Dylan at the Live Aid benefit concert that led to the start of Farm Aid 40 years ago. At that time, Ethiopia stricken by drought, prompting a movement to raise hundreds of $millions for relief. And it was on stage at that concert that Dylan said, why don't we send some of that money to American farmers? Dylan will join the star-studded Farm Aid 40 lineup, which features Farm Aid board members Willie Nelson, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, Dave Matthews, and Margot Price, as well as Kenny Chesney, Billy Strings, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, Lucas Nelson, Trampled by Turtles, Winona Judd, Steve Earle, and more. The concert at Huntington Bank Stadium on the campus at the University of Minnesota.
Okay, what are the times of the concert?
It's from 11:30 a.m., I think, till 10 p.m.
Now, can you just come and go?
Good
Who's
question.
going to sit there from 11 in the morning till 11 at night?
Well, some people might. Younger people, Joe, than us.
People covering the event.
All right.
Do you ever... Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, did Ethiopia ever... I mean, we sent them a lot of money. Did they... Is it still the same status, or did they up their game?
Move to where the dirt is.
Yeah, move to where the dirt is.
You ever wonder where that farm aid money goes? I mean, farm aid seems to me just to be.
Are you calling Willie Nelson a liar?
No. That I don't mean to insinuate that. I was just wondering who benefits from this. So I looked it up. It goes to supporting family farmers and building a family farm-centered agricultural system by funding direct farmer relief, emergency support, farmer resource networks, and advocacy for policies that benefit family farms.
I did read a story about a family that actually said their farm was saved by money. It was just a one-time thing. They got behind on everything, bills, et cetera, et cetera. They needed to grow more stuff. They needed money to buy the stuff to grow. And they got a one-time grant from Farm Aid.
I don't see it in there, but I would love it if some of that money was tossed into a suicide prevention program for farmers, because that kind of debt, it's overwhelming for a lot of families.
I'm sure we all remember. Well, I do anyway. I'm old enough. The '80s, all the suicides of farmers.
Oh yeah,
there was one last year.
Horrible.
Mere miles from here. Yeah.
Why don't we take a quick break here and go to break?
All right.
Positive Thursday here at Garage Logic, and it's brought to us by Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care in Shoreview, 1060 County Road E. You can see Schoonovers from Lexington. That's how close it is to Lex. All things related to auto care can be had there at Schoonovers. Hey, Mike, Amy and I just mentioned Play for Patrick yesterday on the Krabby Coffee Shop podcast and the good works that you guys do for young folks, including donating AEDs to area schools. And I see we've got a screening coming up really soon.
We do. It's that time of season already. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're going to be down at Dover Yoda High School, Kenny. Come on,
Dover Yoda?
Hey, nice work.
First one of the year. Looking forward to this. And you're donating AEDs here, too?
Yeah, so I think we've talked about it in the past that we're upgrading the AEDs that we donate. We're going to be donating a wall-mounted unit that will be temperature-controlled, that will go out near their athletic fields behind the high school down there in Dover Yoda High School. So, so we're pretty excited that we're going to, number one, have the heart screen and screen a whole bunch of kids. We've already got 85 people registered for, kids registered for it.
Wow.
So, capacity is, a little over 200 or whatever. Well, if we got the staff and we got the people there, we'll screen as many kids as we can. So, we won't turn anybody away. But, GLers, we've had many, we've talked about it in the past. We've had many GLers that have traveled many hours, 3-4 hours to attend one of our heart screenings. So just because you don't live in the Dover Yoda area down near Rochester doesn't mean that you can't participate. So feel free to register and go on down there. It is absolutely. Kenny, have you ever been down that way?
I have, and I'm looking at a map right now. mere minutes from east of Rochester on US 14. And yeah, wonderful part of the state. If you're going down there, GLer, take the side roads because it's incredible down there. It's such a cool part of the state.
It's just gorgeous. Go down there, get your kids' heart screened, and then stop at one of the many, many, many fine restaurants, somewhere, just nestled into the countryside. So, so we're pretty excited to do this, and we'll talk more about it in the coming weeks.
October 4th, 9 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. How are you doing with volunteers? Do you still need any volunteers?
We are doing well. I haven't checked recently. We had a little bit of a glitch with our registration process, but I think they got it all fixed up. But we're in Mayo Clinic's backyard, so we hope that we're going to have plenty. We have plenty of physicians, but we're hoping that we can get a few more from Mayo Clinic, and we'll never turn down any help from the Mayo Clinic folks. Especially when we're in their backyard. So we're looking forward to it, and we do have a team going down there Friday night to set up, and we're going to be staying the night in Rochester, and so we got some of our trusted retired cardiologists that'll be coming down there as well. So it's going to be a great weekend. We're really looking forward to it, and we hope that people take advantage of it, Kenny.
Volunteer shifts. You don't have to work the whole day, 8 a.m. until noon or noon to 4 p.m. There's something I wanted to do, Mike. I wanted to actually start out our meeting today by reading from the landing page on Play for Patrick. I'm thinking in terms of new GLers that are just tuning in, maybe they've just become GLers in the last few weeks, and they might be wondering what the hell we're talking about. Go to playforpatrick.org, and you hit that landing page. There's a paragraph that pretty much says it all. The Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation was created to honor and remember Patrick Schoonover. He passed away at the age of 14 due to sudden cardiac arrest, SCA, caused by undetected heart defects. The goal of the foundation is to bring SCA awareness, education, prevention, and eliminate SCA in kids. And that's the whole purpose of these heart screenings. And you've been doing it for years, and it's proven to be very, very successful. You have found a lot of issues with kids. And when I say kids, we're going all the way up to age 24 here, right? 14 to 24?
That is correct, Kenny. That is true.
So that's what the Play for Patrick heart screening is all about, in case you just happen to be new to Garage Logic. Just wanted to keep everybody on the same page and informed there. Anything else we need to discuss about that?
Well, Kenny, for those GLers that don't have kids or people in their network that are 14 to 24 years old or can't volunteer or live in another state somewhere, you can go on our website, and we are always looking for money to help pay for these AEDs. That the setup that we're going to be putting down in Dover, Iota, will be about a $7,000 unit, and so that is our new normal that we're doing, because those things will be readily available 24/7, 365 days out of the year, and they're not locked up in an office or behind closed doors or that type of thing. So they are truly for the school as well as the community.
And they're really easy to use. There's instructions there. And first time, if you've never used one before, don't worry about it. You can use it. There's clear instructions there how to do it. And I just wanted one note before we wrap it up to grandparents, aunts, and uncles. I know time is precious for everybody, and you might thinking, I don't know about doing this on a Saturday. This is time well spent. I want you to put pressure on moms and dads and kids. Get those kids to one of these screening events because they're really worthwhile. Meanwhile, if there's anything at all you need related to that car you drive, you can find those repairs and upgrades at Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. They're the official shop of Garage Logic. Always rated as one of the best in the metro. SchoonoverBodyWorks.com, the website. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, GLers. You guys have a great day.
Oh, they were funny.
Was it a dummy?
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, it was a dummy.
He had the ugly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Oh my God!
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Dummy looked like Sarah Palin.
Town Council, you're getting your money's worth today. I can tell you that right now. On economy, you want to know why? Hofferman Water and Connecticut are here to help solve all of your water emergencies. In fact, I just placed my order for salt with the Jordan Booster Club in baseball. And you know what? That's going to take me through probably the end of 2026, to be honest with you, because Hofferman Water in Connecticut is going to cut down on your salt usage because they have the best appliances known to man. Your first step, though, is you have to get on that schedule and have them come out for that free water analysis. And you can do that one of two ways. Call them directly at 612-895-2440 or go on their website, which is, of course, hoffermanwater.com. Either way, you're going to get on that schedule. You're going to have them come out for that free water analysis. They're going to give you this thing that's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they're going to give you suggestions on how to improve the quality of your water. And you know what? It's done an amazing job with the quality of my water. It'll do the same thing for you. 612-895-2440 or visit hoffermanwater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Make sure that you mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast. John?
Thank you, Chris. In national and international news, President Trump met Prime Minister Keir Starmer today, the final day of the U.S. leader's state visit to Britain, with tech investment, steel tariffs, and potentially tricky talks over Ukraine and Gaza on the agenda. The President and First Lady Melania Trump were feted by King Charles III and Queen Camilla on Wednesday at Windsor Castle with all the pageantry the monarchy could muster. The British government has grown increasingly critical of Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza and the suffering of Palestinian civilians. So that meeting with Starmer today should focus partially on that. Starmer also has played a major part in Europeans' efforts to shore up U.S. support for Ukraine. Horrible story out of Pennsylvania. 5 police officers shot, 3 of them killed while serving a warrant at a York County farm yesterday. The 2 surviving officers are in critical but stable condition at Wellspan York Hospital. The suspect is dead. State police say he was shot by law enforcement. The warrant was being served to an ex-boyfriend of a woman who lived in the farmhouse where Wednesday's deadly shooting occurred. The woman had observed the shooter stalking the home in a nearby cornfield the day before on Tuesday. She reported the incident to the police. They tried to serve the shooter with the order on Tuesday night, but weren't able to find him. They came back yesterday. As they were walking up to the site, the shooter opened fire from a nearby cornfield, striking and killing 3 Northern York regional officers. The shooter began moving toward the house where he engaged 3 county sheriffs. 2 of the York County sheriffs were struck. 1 was able to return fire, killing the shooter. Authorities say the shooter was wearing camouflage and is not yet clear to investigators whether the shooter was waiting in the cornfield for the ex-girlfriend or for arresting officers to return. The House declined late yesterday to punish one of their own over commentary in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. The 214 to 213 roll call shelved a resolution from GOP Representative Nancy Mace to censure our Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar and have her removed from 2 House committees. Mace has said Omar, an immigrant who criticized Kirk's views of gun ownership and race relations, should be deported to Somalia. Omar was born in Somalia and became a U.S. citizen in the year 2000. Omar said Mace is pushing a false narrative to raise money and boost her run for governor in South Carolina.
And the vote was 214 to 213?
Correct.
So 1 vote separated Ilhan from being chastised.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, again, we were talking about Kimmel and censorship. I mean, where do you lie on that? You as the mayor.
Well, I find so much fault with Ilhan that this is just nothing. This is one more thing.
But would that have opened Pandora's box?
You get to say what you want. You don't get to like. I don't have to like it. Getting back to Kimmel. You know how I handled Kimmel?
How do you handle?
I didn't watch him.
You don't watch him.
That's the market. I didn't watch him. That was my answer to what he says.
Can we go back to Ilhan? Do you think she's taking a victory lap with arms raised high, or do you think she's going, whew, that was close?
No, I think she's taking a victory lap.
Of course she is.
And she'll use this to fuel her everybody in America is white and racist.
Everybody
and
hates me because I'm not special. Oh, God.
Well, we're talking about this whole freedom of speech thing, kind of an interesting take from, of all people, Tucker Carlson. He's accusing the Trump administration of using Charlie Kirk's death to trample on the First Amendment, a concern that's been raised by many on both the left and right up to this point. The outspoken right-wing voice said that Kirk was a free speech champion. He hoped that his murder wouldn't be used as leverage to bring in hate speech laws in the U.S. after the administration's threats to take action against critics of the Turning Point USA founder. Carlson said, "You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to the country. And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever, and there never will be." He added, "Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There's nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human." The longtime former Fox News host did not target President Trump by name, but he did go after Attorney General Pam Bondi for comments she made Monday night that sparked fierce backlash from both the right and the left.
A president with some taste and some decorum could really calm the waters in this country.
Yes.
Texas-based, not sure, do we like this? Texas-based de-extinction company.
I don't like the title.
Number one, why is there a de-extinction company? Colossal Biosciences announced yesterday it's successfully grown Phrygian primordial germ cells, a step toward its goal of reviving the extinct dodo bird.
I'll be darned.
No.
Till now, humans have only been able to grow those cells for chickens and geese. Colossal now hopes to grow the cells from Nicobar pigeons, dodo's closest living relatives, and then tweaking the genes using specimens of the dodo bird preserved in museums. The goal is to inject the cells into gene-edited chickens, which will then serve as surrogates. The company, which recently created pups resembling the dire wolf, believes it can produce a dodo-like bird in 5 to 7 years. The dodo was basically a large pigeon in the Indian Ocean that had evolved to lose the ability to fly. It's believed to be the first animal species that was exterminated, with the last documented sighting coming in 1662.
Have you seen the video? Now, granted, it's on social media, so it might be fake. I have no idea. Where a guy has a moon rock, or not a moon rock, but a rock from Mars, and tentacles are growing out of it?
No. Where is it?
Look that up.
Where did you see this?
That sounds fake.
And then he opens it, he keeps it in a safe, and he opens it every once in a while. It's got more tentacles. It's
he's a crackpot.
Moving around like snakes. And, I think
Jethro Bodine with a computer.
I think it could be real.
What was the bird that we clubbed out of the air that used to darken the skies here in the United States?
Vultures.
No.
Eagles.
No.
Hawks.
No.
Bald eagle.
Was it a commercial?
Oh, my God. No. John, just do a story.
Okay.
Sorry I asked.
Mars rock growing something.
Yeah, I tried that.
We all grew up with the Publishers Clearinghouse, right?
I never paid much attention to it.
You never ordered magazines and joined the Clearinghouse's, sweepstakes?
No, I never thought that guy'd show up.
Was that the Ed McMahon deal?
Yeah.
Now the company is in bankruptcy.
Sure.
And winners' dreams have turned into nightmares because they're not going to pay up.
They got sent a bill.
ARB Interactive, a mobile gaming company that bought PCH's remaining assets, said that under the terms of the sales agreement, it would not honor payouts for those who won their life-changing prizes before July 15th of this year. Some winners who thought they'd never have to work again are now finding themselves uncertain of how they'll pay their bills. John Wiley was a winner. He said, "This feels like a nightmare. I thought this was going to go on for the rest of my life, so I didn't really have to worry about money." He lives in Bellingham, Washington. He'd been promised $5,000 a week for life, but now he's looking for a new job, and he's not hopeful since he hasn't had to work for more than 10 years. He's currently living on the proceeds of sales of some of his prized possessions, but Wiley said he had no idea the company was even in trouble until his annual check of $260,000 didn't show up as expected in January. He says, "Why didn't somebody give me a heads up? I'm pretty sure at this point I'm going to lose my home." The PCH Prize Patrol, with their balloons and oversized checks, we all know about it, became universally known across the country from the 1970s through the early 2000s, long before national lotteries and billion-dollar jackpots started grabbing headlines. And unlike state lotteries, Publishers Clearinghouse allowed people to win without buying tickets or even magazine subscriptions that it was selling.
Yeah, right.
You're wondering where this all started.
Where did it start, John?
I wasn't.
Ed?
I knew everyone was. No, way before Ed.
Reader's Digest.
Publishers Clearinghouse was started by
Abraham Lincoln.
Was started by Harold and Lou Esther Mertz. You don't hear that name too often. Lou
Fred
Esther.
Mertz's relative?
Yes.
Then their daughter Joyce in the basement of their Long Island home in 1953, selling magazine subscriptions for multiple publications at the same time. PCH, would then be paid a commission on any subscriptions it sold.
Here's Johnny. Never hurts with Mertz.
1967, to attract attention, the company started offering its first direct mail sweepstakes. Customers could enter for a chance to win prizes whether or not they purchased a magazine subscription. Then in 1989, the Prize Patrol started going out, showing up at homes, and they'd film it and put it in the TV ads.
It's a long story, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's a long history.
Publishers Clearinghouse annual revenue has dropped dramatically in recent decades, falling from $854 million in 2017 to only $182 in 2023.
Thank you.
Do you get a lot of magazines? Anybody still get a lot of magazines?
I do.
You never ordered them through Publishers Clearinghouse?
No, Matt.
You probably were on $1 million.
Yeah.
I get backwoodsman.
I get a lot of magazines.
A boy's life.
Listen to this, fellas. You should have all answered me, and I knew the answer. I was afraid to say it out loud. Once numbering in the billions and the most populous bird on the planet, the passenger pigeon.
Oh, the old passenger pigeon.
They were decimated by overhunting. The last wild individual died in 1900.
Squabs. When you order the pigeon in Europe, you order squab.
Why would you order pigeon?
They taste pretty good.
Better than morning dove wrapped in bacon?
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good. Thank you, John.
Sure.
Why don't you take a time out?
Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Only because they come to us all the way from, where are we? Sant Martí, Barcelona, Spain.
Got it.
From the Traveling Lymans.
What do you got? Where are they?
I just said.
España.
On this day,
September 18th.
In 1844, Captain Seth Eastman became commander of Fort Snelling for the second time.
Fort Snelling is always in the news, no matter
Plays
what.
a big role, doesn't
Really
matter.
does.
Wasn't Seth Eastman the keyboard player for the J. Giles band?
Yes.
On this day,
September 18th.
in 1902, Aurelia Wheeldon, one of the earliest female African-American boxers, was born in Minnesota. She studied music. She studied music at Macalester College, earned recognition as a female world bantamweight champion, and eventually moved to New York City and performed in musicals at the Apollo Theater.
Was she a...
I don't know. On this day... On this day.
I bet she was tough to get along with.
September 18th.
Well, don't you find that an odd combination, the sweet science and music?
Right.
Well, the sweet science was always combined with a bunch of different stuff. I mean, we had the kangaroo that had, was a boxer.
On this day.
September 18th.
Cartoon theme.
1923, Al Quee was born near Denison in Rice County. Beginning in 1958, he represented Minnesota in Congress for 10 consecutive terms, during which he advocated legislative bills relating to education, agriculture, anti-poverty, and labor issues. In 1979, he was elected governor as an independent Republican.
You ever been to Denison?
No, but I knew Al Quee pretty well.
You know that Al Quee hired my mother as the first calligrapher to Minnesota.
I believe every year on this day in history we hear that.
Yeah, well, You give me the dope on Quee, I'm going to give you the dope on Judas.
Lieutenant Governor Val Quee can relax.
Hey, I need some invitations.
On this day,
September 18th, Joe.
in 2009, Grammy award-winning artist Lucinda Williams married her manager, Minneapolis native Tom Overby, during her show at First Avenue.
No way.
I do remember that.
Huh.
And then on this day in sports disappointment history.
Where are you at, Lucinda? You a big fan?
I do like Lucinda.
I do, too.
Williams.
I've seen her many, many times.
Yeah, she's very good.
Car Wheels on a Gravel Road, great album.
On this day,
September 18th.
1997, Carl Pohlad began negotiations with Don Beaver to sell the Twins to an outfit in North Carolina, and claimed it was not a ploy to pressure Minnesota for a new stadium.
Less than 30 years later, his dumbass grandson just fired his entire scouting department.
Yeah. So there you have it, GLers. Thank you.
Seth Justman was the keyboard player for Jay Giles' band, not Eastman.
Thank goodness I was not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Well, you would have got emails correcting it.
True.
No, you would have.
That's right.
No,
Jay Heidt at GarageLogic.com. Don't send them to me, damn it.
Come to Chris.
Please do us a favor and subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic is a YouTube channel, and you can interact with the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage, but it's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search for us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more. Sign up today online at GarageLogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, oh boy, Josh, Cracker Barrel and Olive Garden are getting hit financially. You've got some news on NVIDIA, and did I see this right? 25 new cuts. Does that deal with the Fed, or is you got?
No. It's a big number. Is 25 basis points.
Thank you.
Cut. So 0.25% the Fed cut rates yesterday. I think that was more of a show thing than anything else. It was presumptive to reduce any risks that might be out there for those people who are hoping for a half-point cut or more. A little disappointed. And the only individual on the Fed board who voted for or wanted a larger cut than 25 basis points was the new guy, Steve Moran, who wanted 50 basis points. The Fed is still pretty much data dependent, and as we have stated on an ongoing basis, the economy is still strong. Inflation is still above the Fed's target of 2%. Now, the Fed does look at several different measures of inflation, plus the Fed still has to focus on full employment. Statistics are starting to indicate that unemployment is going up a little bit and not down. Indeed, even the jobs participation rate has been hanging right around 62.5% for quite some time. So there are many people who have ceased looking for work. Part of that could be costs of finding child care are way up. Part of that could be lack of opportunity. Part of that could be the number of government programs that provide money for people who aren't working. And I'm not sure what could be done to turn around that low jobs participation number. But that is still within the Fed's mandate. My sense with the Fed is they were to quit their quantitative tightening program, selling their bonds into the marketplace. That too could bring longer-term interest rates down, and that could be a nice boost for longer-term purchases for like houses and cars, which have been stalled. Fed does focus, we'll say, on both the CPI, which is overweighted with housing, and insurance costs, which, as we all know, have not been going down. Then we've got the producer price index, which has been trending down a little bit, and we can throw in the price of oil or energy, which has also been trending down. That's a big help. And then lastly, we have the Fed looking at the personal consumption expenditure index, which definitely has been moving up. And that's what you and I spend on everything from milk, butter, and eggs to the cost of our insurance and housing and paying for subscriptions and other services where we're spending our money, and costs on those, that area have definitely been going up. And part of that due to tariffs and companies raising prices. The impact on consumer behavior can be seen in earnings coming from the likes, yes, of General Mills. It can also be seen with Pepsi-Cola's lackluster earnings, as Pepsi not only has soda, orange juice, and water in their portfolio, but also Frito-Lay, smaller packages, higher prices, and sales going down. Pepsi is still, with Frito-Lay, the largest salted food company in the world. And we're not even talking about Pepsi's own restaurants like Pizza Hut. Their sales have been down. General Mills sales have been down. And this morning we saw Cracker Barrel. Their sales and guidance were down. And Cracker Barrel's had some other issues relating to their CEO wanting to refresh their logo, which created such an uproar that got dropped. But Garden, which owns Olive Garden, sales and earnings were down. Guidance was lackluster. So maybe that's, they're cutting down on the number of breadsticks and endless salad bowl, or maybe prices have gotten a little bit too high. Interesting on going out and food companies, and I love to eat. I love to eat out, which is, I'll say, one of my favorite pastimes, and particularly going out to eat lunch. But son number one, Michael, pointed something out that not only has McDonald's reinstituted the value meal, which has helped McDonald's sales, and Taco Bell also has their value meals. But one of the better places to go, and used to be one of my favorites, is Chili's, which is owned by Brinker, market symbol EAT. I don't think there are any Chili's left in the Twin Cities. My son Michael loves going to Chili's and taking advantage of their value meal, whether it's for lunch or dinner. And those value meals continue, we'll say, to pack them in at Chili's and have helped boost Brinker's stock. Brinker's also owns Macaroni Grill and Maggiano's across the country. Nonetheless, I have cautioned on investing in food stocks. Great places to eat, but not necessarily great places to invest, but they are symbolic of what's happening to the consumer. On the other hand, what's happening in industry, and particularly in, we'll say, the semiconductor and tech space, NVIDIA has one problem with China, we'll say, banning their chips. On the other hand, NVIDIA just put $5 billion, some say that's pocket change, into Intel, and that has boosted Intel to definitely a 52-week high, and shows, again, say, NVIDIA's strength and looking for other places, at least here in the United States, to manufacture their much-needed chips. As we go into the end of the year, do pay attention to what consumers are doing. Pay very close attention to artificial intelligence and its impact across many industries, and that's still a place to focus in on.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952 888-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and you never, ever get sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Certainly will. And just one last thing, Chris. If you don't like the comedian or what the comedian says, change the channel.
No doubt, Josh.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you next week.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.